What if I told you that one alarm clock was the difference between poverty and greatness? What if waking up early before the sun, before excuses, before the world was the single habit that changed a poor man's destiny forever? This isn't a theory. This isn't motivation for likes. This is a real story. A story of a boy who grew up in a cramped apartment with no money, no connections, and no safety net. A boy who watched his father come home defeated every single night. A boy who learned early that life doesn't care about your dreams unless you do. And it all began before sunrise. Poverty doesn't just steal money, it steals hope. Howard Schultz was born into a poor family in Brooklyn, New York. He grew up in public housing. Not the kind you see in the movies, the kind where ceilings leak, where the heat fails in winter, where ambition feels dangerous. His father worked a series of low-paying jobs, truck driver, factory worker, always one injury away from disaster. Then one day it happened. His father slipped on a sheet of ice, broke his ankle, and lost his job. No insurance, no paycheck, no backup plan. Howard watched his family fall apart emotionally. And in that moment, a seed was planted deep inside him. I will never live like this again. But success doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives quietly early in the morning. As a teenager, Howard started waking up early. Not because he wanted to, because he had to. Early mornings meant paper routes. Early mornings meant small jobs. Early mornings meant responsibility. While everyone else slept, he was learning discipline. He learned that getting up early gave him something incredibly rare: uninterrupted time to think. There was no chaos. There were no distractions. It was just him and the quiet whisper of possibility. Most people don't lose because they're lazy. They lose because they're comfortable. Howard noticed something early on. The people around him who stayed stuck always woke up reacting to life. Their day started with an emergency, a problem, a demand from someone else. But the people who managed to escape poverty, they woke up before life started. They set the tone for their own day. So early mornings became his secret advantage. It was time to read, time to plan, time to imagine a life far bigger than his environment. This wasn't about motivation. This was survival. Discipline beats talent when talent sleeps in. Howard earned a scholarship to college, but he didn't suddenly become rich. He still worked, he still woke up early. While other students partied all night, he was studying before sunrise. While others complained about their classes, he was preparing for them. Those early hours built something powerful inside him: confidence. Because when you keep the small promises you make to yourself, like waking up when the alarm goes off, you start believing you can keep the bigger promises too. You build a foundation of self-trust, and opportunities have a funny way of recognizing prepared people. Eventually, Howard joined a small coffee company called Starbucks. At the time, it only had a handful of stores. It was nothing special. During a business trip to Italy, he noticed something powerful. The coffee shops there weren't just about selling coffee. They were about community. They were third places away from home and work where people connected. He woke up early every single day on that trip, walking through the cities of Milan and Verona before sunrise, observing people, thinking, and letting this new idea take shape. That idea became his vision, but every dream is tested by rejection. When Howard returned and pitched his grand vision for Starbucks, he was rejected. Multiple times, investors said no. His own partners doubted him. They didn't see what he saw. But those early mornings had trained him for this. While others slept, he was refining his pitch, rehearsing his vision, strengthening his resolve. Failure didn't stop him because he had already beaten something much harder: himself, every single morning in the dark. The morning decides the man. Waking up early didn't magically make Howard Schultz rich. It did something far more important. It gave him control. Control over his mind. Control over his habits. Control over his future. The early morning became his sanctuary, a quiet battlefield where excuses didn't exist and discipline was the only rule. It was his private time to become the person he needed to be to achieve his goals. Your breakthrough is hidden inside consistency. Eventually, Howard acquired Starbucks and built it into the global brand we know today. From a poor kid in public housing to the CEO of a global empire. And through all of it, the one habit that never changed was waking up early. Because success doesn't come from one single moment of brilliance. It comes from thousands of quiet, consistent mornings that no one ever applauds. You don't need more motivation. You need a new morning. Waking up early won't solve all your problems overnight, but it will give you something absolutely priceless. Time to learn, time to build. Time to plan your escape from whatever is holding you back. If a poor boy from Brooklyn can completely change his destiny before the sun even rises, so can you. Comfort is the enemy of destiny. Most people who try waking up early quit after a week. Why? Because the results don't show up immediately. But Howard didn't wake up early for motivation. He woke up early for identity. He was becoming the kind of man who does hard things, especially when no one is watching. That's the real transformation. So tomorrow morning is a vote for your future. You don't need a perfect plan. Just set the alarm. Wake up a little bit earlier than you did today. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Think bigger. Choose discipline over comfort. That is how destinies begin to shift. The world belongs to those who wake up early enough to claim it. While others dream, you build. While others hit the snooze button, you move. And your answer will be simple. I started waking up early, and I never looked back.